Hello, this is Mrs. Patterson's Homework Help. We are in Chapter 3, Lesson 4 for this math lesson. And today we're going to talk about comparing to solve problems. And when we have word problems and things, it can be really tricky and difficult for students to understand what's going on. And what they're trying to show here is if you're going to use adding or subtraction, you might hear things like how much more, how many more, or how much less. And if you're going to use multiplication and division, you might hear things like how many more times or how many times greater. Times is a really big screaming word for multiplication. All right? So let's look at this is quite a difficult problem at the way they've laid it out, so let me go over it and explain how we're working with it. So additive comparisons use addition or subtraction. Multiplicative comparisons use multiplication or division to compare. Really complicated way of what I explained right here. So let's look at this problem. Maya went swimming 7 times this month. Maya. She went 7 times. Her brother went 14 times this month. Brother, 14 times. Okay? So you can see that there's a difference, right? Okay. So what are they asking? How many times more did Maya's brother go swimming than Maya? Now you cannot say, it's really easy to say, well, he went 7 more times than she did. Okay? You can't say that because you were saying she went 7 more times, or he went 7 more times than Maya. That would give you 49. That's not what it's asking. You got to be really careful here. Okay? So you have to set this up as a multiplication question. We want to know how many more times her brother went than she did, right? So they say, hey, she did 7 times. Her brother did a multiplication amount more than her and got to 14. So basically what you need to know is what times 7 gives you 14. And the answer is 2. Why? If you can say it in another way. Maya's brother went swimming 2 times as much as Maya. 2 times as much. So for every time that Maya went, he went 2 times. He doubled what she did. Okay? So it's not, you don't want to say he went 7 more times than she. He went twice as many times as she, and that gives you 14. Okay? If you're using that word times, then you have to think of it as a multiplication problem by 2. I know this is confusing because kids say, oh, he went 7 more times than she did. And that's normal language and everything, but if you're looking at it as a math problem, you would say, oh, he went 7, times more than she did. It gets confusing. Okay, then you're thinking, man, he went 49 times. No. So he went 7 more trips or 7 more times or 7 more groups of time he went to go swimming than she did. But if you're looking at it as a multiplication problem, he did twice as many swims as she did. Okay? All right. So let's look at the first problem that they have here. Write an equation to find the unknown number. Use a symbol for the unknown. Now that's a symbol again, using a letter. When you were in kindergarten, you had problems like this. 2 plus 2 equals, and they would have blank or they'd have a square, and you'd fill that in, right? With the answer. Well, as we're getting older and we have more difficult math problems, instead of putting a blank or a box or something like that, they put in a letter. And that letter basically means I don't have the answer. And that's going to stand in there until I have the answer. Once you figure out the answer, you say, oh, well, 2 plus 2 is 4. You say, okay, B equals 4. So that's what they mean about putting in a symbol or a variable for the unknown. Okay? All right, let's look at number 1. Julie earned 25 bucks. Okay? Julie earned 25 bucks. This is 5 times as much as what Lisa earned. How much did Lisa earn? Okay, so we don't know how much Lisa earned. What can we look at this? So Julie earned 25 bucks, right? This is 5 times as much as what Lisa earned. So who made more? Julie. She earned 5 times as much. So how can we write that as an equation? Well, first of all, do we know how much Lisa earned? No, we don't, okay? So we need to figure that out. Well, how do we do that? We can say, hey, Lisa, that's our unknown, made a certain amount of money, and Julie earned 5 times that amount of money and got $25. So then you can figure out Lisa times 5 gives you what Julie had. So how much did Lisa earn? Lisa earned $5. Because 5 times 5 is 25. So Lisa got $5, but Julie made 5 times, Julie made 5 times that amount, and she got $25. Okay? Confusing, I know. Tricky, I know. Okay, number 2. The red team scored 4 goals. The blue team scored 3 times as many goals. How many goals did the blue team score? So we know this is the red team, right? The blue team scored 3 times as many goals. So, the blue team. This is going to be the blue team here. Let's do B for blue. B for blue, let's not be confusing. So this is your red team, and this is what the blue team earned. And what did the blue team earn? 4 times 3 is 12. So B equals 12. You just got to think about and put the places in for what's going on. Red team, blue team scored 3 times as many goals. Blue team has 12. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to do number 3, and then we're going to see how you do on the rest of the page. I know this is kind of hard, so I'm doing 3. A large aquarium has 6 more fish than a small aquarium. There are 19 fish in a large aquarium. How many fish are in a small aquarium? Well, okay, so a large aquarium, boop, boop, boop. Okay, let's call this a large aquarium, has 6 more fish than a small aquarium. Okay, do we know how much is in the small aquarium? No. There are 19 fish in that large aquarium. Oh, so I know how many's here. So I say 19 fish are swimming around in here, okay? How many fish are in the small aquarium? Well, what do we know? We know that the large aquarium has 19 fish and it has 6 more fish than the small aquarium. So what can we do? We can start with, hey, we've got 19 fish. Let's take 6 of those away, and we're going to find out how many are in the small aquarium. Because this is bigger, it can take on those 6 fish. We know there's 19 in there. So 19 take away 6 is what? 13. We have 13 fish in the small aquarium. Okay. All right. So there's not going to be a bonus question today. This was pretty tough. I'm just happy if you can get through the next few questions. This one you're going to actually look at the table and solve it from that information there.